Scott, did you avoid the post-game traffic to get here? Everybody else got caught, and I guess so. Hey, Pat.
Check 1 2 3 4. Check 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. All right.
Myra, do we have stat sheets yet?
Yeah, we're pretty.
Could you bring just singles up here?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Maya. Anybody need a white balance? We have a white balance here. Everybody. Mic check in the back. Everybody good on the mic level? All right. Everybody balanced? All right. Good deal. Chris, do you want to have an opening statement, then take questions? All right.
You guys ready for me?
We're ready when you are. Yeah.
All right. Obviously, that turned into a heck of a ball game. I was really proud of my team. Illinois came out with a lot of energy, like you knew they would. Coming off their last game, we didn't do a very good job defensively in the first half, giving up 44 points, 8 or 9 threes. They were pretty much getting everything they wanted. But I was really proud of my team. That's who we've been. We're a real fighting group. We've been a very competitive group. We've had some success, so our guys believe, that they can be in games like this and have a chance to win. We put a lot of game pressure on them, cutting it to 1. there in the last couple minutes. Give them credit. I thought they made key free throws when they needed it. Kofi had a couple big buckets late, and we just weren't able to kind of get that. We had a couple looks that really would have given us a chance there. Barry had a couple open looks that, he'd been so hot, and Audige had a couple looks, and we just weren't able to kind of get those last couple scores we needed. But, overall, the way we shot it, if you were to say to me, that kind of our three main guys were going to go 4 for 11, 3 for 13, and 4 for 15, and it's a 1-point game under 4 minutes on the road against one of the best teams in the country. There's a lot of positives out of that. So, obviously Illinois is really good, and we got to learn from it and get ready for our next one.
Okay, we have mics on each side. There you go. Jeremy.
Chris, I don't even know how much he's in the scouting report, but RJ Melendez, the freshman, how does he help or impact the game?
Yeah, his energy, I just thought he did a great job. Hit 2 big threes there in the first half from the corner. You've kind of seen on film, kind of from our game, I thought when we played, you guys a couple of weeks ago, I thought he had 6 points, really gave good minutes. You've seen kind of with each game, he's kind of getting more confidence. He's a heck of an athlete. He's on the offensive boards. He's now making threes. I mean, for him to get 14 and 6, in a game like this, I thought he got a big offensive rebound, when we were kind of making it hard for them to score. I think Plummer missed a 3 from the corner, and he came flying in and got fouled and kind of went up and made 2 free throws. So he's got a bright future. He's a really good player for them. And you get guys like that off the bench with their main guys, all of a sudden, they become a very difficult team to beat.
Coach, did you do something differently in the second half defensively? Like you said, they were getting anything they wanted in the first half. Second half shots were a little bit tougher.
I just thought we played a lot harder. We just were a step slow, and part of that is them. Sometimes when it's not going well, you have a tendency to always say it's because of us, and sometimes a lot of it has to do with the other team. They came out with great energy. They were playing with force. They kind of sped the game up a little bit. We were out of sorts. We were late on closeouts, gave Plummer 4 for 5 from 3 there in the first half. And I thought in the second half, we just played a lot harder. We did a better job kind of giving help down on Kofi. We forced some turnovers out of the post, forced 20 turnovers altogether, which helped get us back in the game. But I just thought, we played with more energy, more life. Our kid, one of our freshmen, Casey Simmons, I kind of put him in the game. He hasn't really played the last couple games, but I thought his energy kind of uplifted us. He got 3 baskets there in transition and gave us some life and gave us a chance to put some game pressure on them late.
Here to the right.
Yeah, you guys had a big 13-0 run in the second half. Just what was the reasoning, I guess? What was the spark behind that big run? How big was that?
Yeah, I just thought, we were playing much harder and more aggressive defensively. We started forcing turnovers. We were swarming better with Kofi, whether it was our digs or, at times we had some double teams. I thought we did a good job with that. I thought we put more pressure on their 3-point shooting. They missed a few. If you look at it too, sometimes when you're trying to make a run, I thought DeMonte got some open looks. A couple of those other guys got some open looks that they make, and they missed some of those, which helped us kind of get out. And then we started running. I thought we got out on the open floor, whether it was turnovers or long rebounds, and we were able to attack before their defense got set. If you let their defense get set, they have terrific defenders. Trent is one of the best. DeMonte, obviously Kofi with his size. So I thought we were able to get more in the open floor and get some open shots. Ty Berry got some looks, and next thing you knew, I just thought there became some game pressure. Once you get that to 5, once you kind of cut it to 3, then 1, when you have a big lead like that, obviously the home team is, you put a little bit of game pressure on them, and then to Illinois' credit, they responded and made enough plays to win.
Jim in the way back.
Chris Way in the back. It looked like both sides were a little frustrated by the officiating of Kofi. What's the challenge of guarding him, and the challenge maybe of officiating with him down there?
Yeah, he's a hard guy to officiate. He's kind of a little bit Shaq-like, when you remember Shaq playing back in the NBA. He's so big, he's so strong. It's hard. It's hard to determine, whether, it's contact, whether it's dislodging, whether it's, he's such a great player. I'm just fighting for my guys out there. Obviously it's at the end of the day, I thought probably some went their way, some went our way, pretty much evened it out. But he's just such a tough guy to play against. There's no one like him in the country, with that force, with that size. He just puts a lot of pressure on you in a lot of ways.
Right here in front, Scott.
kind of a similar question about Kofi. I mean, he was kind of visibly frustrated some with the double and the triple team. You forced him into 6 turnovers. Then he finishes with 19 and 15. Is that a case of, I mean, did you do all you wanted against him, or was there?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what did us in was the 3-point shooting. We kind of knew when you play Kofi, you're not going to shut Kofi out, unless you have Edie or, one of those other guys that, can go at him and get him. And we were able to get him in a little bit of foul trouble, which hurt. We just tried to make it tough. We tried to swarm. We tried to be active. We tried to give him different looks, double him at times. And he still gets 19, and he's going to do that. But where we lost this game was letting Plummer get 5 threes, letting Melendez get 14 points. If you were to say to me, Kofi's going to get 19 with 6 turnovers, you kind of take that, but then you got to do the job on the other guys, which we weren't able to do today.
Rob?
I thought Casey Simmons was spectacular. And Melendez for Illinois. These are two guys that people don't know very much.
Yeah, right.
Could you talk about the development of how you trust a freshman to play a role like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool to see guys like both those guys are guys that have kind of, I'm sure, I mean, Melendez looks like a great kid, and how he plays with such a great Casey the same way. Sometimes you're playing on these teams that have a lot of older guys. There's a tendency to, man, I want to be out there. And it seems like both those guys have just worked. They've gone to practice, they've worked, they've gotten better. The more they've played now, they're getting a little bit comfortable. They're two kind of high energy athletes. They're two guys that are fun to watch, because when you watch them out there, you feel their energy on the floor. So I've never been afraid to play freshmen. We're trying to win, so if you're a freshman, if you're a senior, if you're a super senior, or whatever they call 6-year seniors now, whatever you are, we're just trying to find a group out there that can help us. But I've never been one to not give freshmen opportunities, and we have to, because we're a developmental program. For us, we need to recruit guys, get them in our program. We need to get them stronger. We need to get them better. And as they get older, give them a chance. It's kind of what we've done with this group, the last couple of years with Bowie, with Nance, with Barron, with Ryan Young. We threw those guys into the fire, and they got their heads kicked in a little bit. They had a 3-win season as freshmen, and now they're pretty good, because they've played, they've gotten better, they've gotten older, they've gotten experience. And so to see Casey, to see Julian Roper, to see Ty Berry, as a sophomore, some of our young guys getting better, gets me excited for their futures.
Alec?
You mentioned Alfonso Plummer's shot making and that being kind of a difference. Makes, I think, 4 or 5 in the first half, and then he kind of gets silenced a little bit in the second half. Did you guys change the way you defended him from behind the arc, trying to limit his catches, or just what did you try and do in the second half?
Just tried to be up in his space a little bit, earlier. I thought, Illinois did a good job in the first half. I thought their penetration was getting him open, and he doesn't need much space. I mean, you guys have been following him. He's got a quick trigger. He really gets up on his shot. He doesn't need a lot of room to get it off. And if Trent is in the lane, if Corbello's in the lane, if Grandison's driving you, if DeMonte's driving you, and now you're in help and recover situations, it makes it harder, to get to those guys, or else you're going to give up layups, especially with Kofi rolling. So I thought in the first half, we just had too many breakdowns, and I thought there were some loose balls. I think at least 2 of his threes came on like offensive rebounds or loose balls we didn't get, that they kicked out and found him. And I thought in the second half, we did a better job. I thought we got a lot of those loose balls and just got into his airspace a little bit. And he missed a couple. I mean, a couple of the ones he made, he probably got a similar look. I mean, he just cooled off a little bit, which a guy like that, you got to hope that's the case a little bit too.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Brad, that was to let you get your seat. I cut it so you could get your seat. I need to see you to stand there. Yeah. I got to get the walk around once in a while. Just
exactly a masterpiece. Is
Yeah,
that a good summary?
It was great pace, great tempo. The ball moved. It never stuck. We weren't relying on just Kofi. The first half was good. The first half was, we lost Ty Berry, gave him a couple of threes, but other than that, we were pretty good defensively. And yet, then all of a sudden, the turnover bug. I mean, my goodness, we just started throwing the ball into the third row, and that's when you're not mentally dialed in. And I was a little bit concerned, just simply because it was after the Purdue game. We took 2 days off.
3 Illinois players will be Kofi, RJ, and Plummer. You can keep that. You can keep Coach on.
Practice effect was terrible, but it's just one of those deals, and you can't start turning the ball over. That team is a very good basketball team. They were one of the hottest teams in the league, and they made us pay. And then it was down the stretch, it was Kofi and making some free throws and some big plays, and then RJ was outstanding.
Yeah.
Hey, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, your freshmen at certain points in this year have really played well, but RJ today was special.
Did you see the last rebound he got?
Yes,
where his head was?
Yeah, that's what I told Brian. I was like, oh man, he skied in there to get the rebound.
I keep telling everybody he's going to be a special player in this league, and it's just it's starting to grow. We're starting to see his confidence. On a day that we needed him. I mean, Jake and DeMonte weren't very good. I thought Coleman was really good, and but you have those days. It's February. I'm one of those guys that I'm really weird. So, but I start looking at scores and I see winning teams or visiting teams winning today and playing everybody close. And I said, oh man, it's a national trend today. They're going to be hard. Chris does an unbelievable job. And it's somebody told me Purdue barely won. And, it's that time of year and you've got to have energy. You got to have tremendous emotion, and we didn't have that today, especially when it got into the second half. And then, we've got to clean up some things situation-wise late that we didn't handle very well.
You two guys played the game, so you understand this. But for a freshman to come in, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Unless you're just, top 2 recruit or something. But, I mean, as a freshman coming in, there's a lot to get through, and he's fought through a lot of, the mental side.
Yeah, the physicality of the game is the biggest adjustment. That's, RJ's put on 20 pounds since he's been here last June. So, just the growth, physical, from the physicality standpoint, allows him to play putting on weight. So, then it's learning terminology, and it's just dealing with and abiding by and waiting your time. Yeah. And, today we needed him. It was a day that, that Jake got good looks and didn't make them. And he jumps up and hits a couple corner threes and 9 threes in the first half. And he's a big reason. And, and then I thought he did a really good job. I thought that he was a big part of Bowie going 3 of 13 and Chase, they're 7 of 28. That's 25%. And that was the 2 guys we felt like we needed to hold down. And,
All right, we'll start with questions for the players. We got mics on each side. Andy.
I guess RJ, now that you've kind of had some run in a couple games, how much more comfortable do you kind of feel in game now than you did maybe the last couple months?
Yeah, definitely. I feel way more comfortable. Veterans always talking to me like, be steady for your time. Like, your time is coming. Like, don't stress about it. Just keep working. And coach gave me the confidence, so it's just feeling way more comfortable with them in the court.
RJ, your dunk there set the State Farm Center crowd into a little bit of a frenzy. Will you be thinking about that play and that roar for a while?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Last game against Northwestern, I got the same play. So it's just, that was one of the keys from that run and transition. Like, we got open layups. So it's just, that's my thing, just running hard.
Jeremy?
Kofi, how do you handle both physically and mentally the attention, the physicality you receive? Like, how do you find your way through that?
I usually handle it by, staying focused and just thinking about the bigger picture, not dwelling on it. I'm able to help my teammates whenever I can. Today, obviously, it didn't turn out that way. I got a little bit frustrated, but, it's just about thinking about them, the guys beside me, the coaches that trust me. It's about thinking, forward thinking, win. That's it, So just doing whatever I can to win the game. I know me being frustrated changed that situation, So I just try not to think about it too much and try to remain calm and focus.
Scott?
For Kofi and Alfonso both, just what have you seen from RJ maybe in the last couple of weeks where he's put himself in position to have a game like he did today?
He be playing confidence. I feel like he always work hard and every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of him because I would see him taking shots. Trying to go to the gym early in the morning. See him like trying to take shots every day. So I feel like that's like he's working out. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell he's um um doing well in that situation. So I'm proud of him though. I'm really proud of him.
Doug?
Alfonso, it's the second game in a row where the shots didn't come quite as easy in the second half as they did the first half. Were they doing something differently defensively in the second half?
No, we just changed the plan. You just like give the ball to Kofi because he was doing really well in the second half. So I feel like just like open the court so Kofi can like do his job.
Scott, I think you asked Kofi about RJ too. Is that right? I don't know. Maybe you could answer that.
About RJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Plummer said, it's just about getting this confidence, watching the ball go in. I've seen RJ work tremendously over the past couple of weeks. Just like staying in the gym and working on his game, and keeping his focus. So it's just about him getting the opportunity right now. He got a chance today, in the situation that we were in, and he came out there and he definitely capitalized on that. Just by staying focused and not worrying about another person. He just stayed focused and worry about the team and our growth. So. He got his chance today, and he went out there and he did an incredible job. He showed coach that he belongs on the court.
Joey?
RJ, you had said you had kind of thought about that dunk a little bit. When you think about moments like that, how does that look in your head versus how it looks when it actually happens?
I basically don't think about it just in the game. It's just coach always tells me in practice just run. Even though we're doing 5-0, he always tells me like sprint because that's gonna help you in the game, and that's almost my type of play. Just run the court and get into the corner quick, and I just run as soon as I see one of my guys got the rebound, just got to sprint because I maybe got a layup, or that would work. So put someone in rotation that would get somebody else open. So it's just, yeah.
Jim in the way back?
Kofi and Alfonso, you're happy the way you played? It seemed like the second half we were just hanging on for dear life. Was it a frustrating victory, I guess the words I'm looking for? Were you a little frustrated by how the team played?
Yeah, definitely. As it gets deeper into the postseason, you want to keep building on, your play and your defense and offense, obviously. I think we did a poor job lately with just like taking care of the ball and executing on offense. It was definitely frustrating for me. I think I had a career high turnovers today. Just about focusing, trying to slow the game down and not rushing stuff. Being strong with the ball. So, I got frustrated in the end. I'm sure these guys did too. We're going to go from that. We're going to go back to the drawing board and look at what we did wrong. And we're going to keep getting better.
We're a good team, but like I feel like we don't focus on details. You know what I'm saying? Like so we can like go, on the higher level, highest level that we're trying to go. So I feel like we have to focus on details every time we play.
RJ, do you feel like you kind of have a skill set that maybe others on the team don't have that allows you to be successful when you're on the court?
Definitely. I think athleticism will be like the type of skill that not everybody has in the team. So yeah, I'll say athleticism.
He's fast. He's really fast. So yeah, too.
Kofi, 3 weeks left in the regular season here. With the Big Ten race so close, what did you guys learn last year about closing out and trying to win a championship?
We learned the importance of taking care of business at home. And obviously, like, if you know us, our identity on the road. We're road warriors, and we try to go out there and we try to, capitalize on that. The road wins are really important in this league. And, we just emphasize the importance of like every game. I think that was the biggest thing for us. Everybody was, I think everybody was locked in for the most part. In each and every game that we played. It's just about not slacking off and losing a bad game. A game that you should have won. Trying to capitalize on that and building on wins. Like we would lose one game and then we would have a seven game winning streak where we're just winning and just those kind of things. Just keep building. Just emphasizing the importance of winning and executing and finishing the job.
This is for Kofi. Kofi, obviously Northwestern was very aggressive with their doubles and triples. In those situations, in your mind, as you're in the post, do you feel that in your situation, you prefer to kind of be patient and see how things develop and see how things go through, or just try to get that and go before the double team gets there? Or how do you kind of work through that in your mind?
It's all situational. Guys have they have different double and triple packages for me. Some guys double on the catch. Some guys double on the dribble. So the biggest thing for me is just realizing what kind of double it is at first. You know, once I do that, then the job becomes easier for me. Today I did a poor job of you know, doing that, but usually I just wait. If a guy doubles fast on the catch, I normally try to like be patient with it. If they double on the dribble, I know that I have to go fast. You know, so it's all about realizing the double and what kind it is.
Alec?
Yeah, I guess this is more for Kofi and Alfonso. How does RJ's athleticism help you guys on the court when you're trying to be successful?
I feel like we quicker like on fast breaks. I feel like we can make a lot of points in fast breaks. So yeah, it helps us a lot in that situation. Like the pace is gonna be better.
Yeah, he definitely elevates us defensively as well. With us being able to guard different positions and, you know, switching and grabbing rebounds the way he did today in the late situations. So I think his game overall helps us. You know, we're a really athletic team, and we try to emphasize like getting out in fast breaks, rebounding, and all those things that athleticism is required for. You know, so he's definitely a great addition to that part.
Joey?
For Kofi and Alfonso, do you guys remember a time in the summer or early fall that RJ did something athletically for the first time that caught your attention? And if so, maybe what was that?
The between the legs dunk. That was big time.
Yeah, RJ always gives you something special. You know, he just keeps showing you something special each and every day, especially in practicing, like and after practice. You know, he's different, man. Like he's a different kind of beast. You know, when I watch him, sometimes I'm in awe. Sometimes, most of the times, you know, just seeing what he's capable of. I still don't think people really realize that. You know, so he's just incredible, man. I can't put words together, man, to describe it.
Joe, follow up?
Yeah, RJ, just what's that like to hear a returning All-American and a fifth-year guy say that about you?
It feels great. What can I say? It just makes me really happy that they're noticing that all the hard work is just paying off, and just they're my family. Like I really love them from the bottom of my heart. Every day in practice, we just go off. I know I hack Kofi every time in practice, but it's just to get him ready for the game because I know they're gonna triple team him. I literally be hitting his arms on purpose so like he gets mad and just be ready for those type of plays. Like today, they were hacking him, but he knew how to handle it because he's just used to it already in practice. So it's just being a teammate.
Rob?
I want to ask about free throws and Jacob Grandison and composure because he didn't see the ball go in today until he had to make those two. Anybody want to take that one about his leadership?
I mean, he's a vet. Like he be in that situation a lot of times. I mean, I feel like he's ready for. I feel like his mind is really strong. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he can handle like any situation, even though he's on an off day. So yeah, he's just a vet doing his work.
Yeah, Jacob's the most composed player I ever met in my life. Nothing rattles him. You know, he just always keeps his cool, and like he's one of those guys where everybody looks to him and they're like, he could say whatever he wants to anybody and we'll listen. You get what I'm saying? Like he's just so composed and like he's level-headed. Always positive. So I don't think anything would have swayed him. Would cause him to miss those free throws. Like he's just always like level-headed.
Kofi, it seemed like when you got most rattled way in the back here, Kofi, it seemed like Coach Alexander had a real long talk with you. How do you summarize that talk, and what does Coach Alexander mean to you?
He means a lot to me, man. You know, he keeps me focused, you know, on the ultimate goal, you know. And he reminds me who I am. You know, he reminds me what kind of player I am. So sometimes when I get angry or confused or frustrated, you know, he just reminds me, you're an All-American. You're our guy. You get what I'm saying? So he just gives me that, you know, that relief. Like, yeah, I have nothing to worry about. Let's just keep playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely keeps me level-headed and, you know, stays on me.
Mark in the way back again.
RJ, from summer ball till now, how much has your confidence grown, and maybe how much have you grown as a player in these, you know, last 4 or 5 months?
I mean, my style of play has grown a lot. Just being with the vets every time in practice, just going at them with them, guarding them, because I know it's gonna make me better, and getting all the knowledge I can, getting everything like the little stuff that they have learned for the past 5 years, 4 years, like Trent. It's been amazing. So I've grown a lot as a player, mentally and physically, with Fletch in the weight room. So it's just getting prepared and getting the best out of them. Plummer's a fifth-year senior, Puerto Rico. I can talk with him in Spanish every time. So he just keeps me sometimes in practice whenever things don't go my way. So it's just really a lot of love for them. So it's just, letting a lot for them.
Joey.
RJ, it seems like over the last 2.5 or 3 weeks, things have really gone pretty fast for you on the court in terms of growing into more minutes. Did you think once I get out there, it'll happen fast? I mean, obviously it's kind of a slow process to now, but in your mind, did you think like once I get that chance, I'm gonna kind of skyrocket a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I was always ready for that chance. I was always working out with all the coaches, just be ready for that time, learning and practice every time, just scouting in case my time comes, just being ready for those type of moments.
Alec?
RJ, I spoke with you, Alfonso, and Andre before the season about your guys' ability to speak Spanish and how comforting that was for the three of you. Now that the three of you are playing, how comforting is that for the three of you guys to be able to speak in your own language?
Definitely, it's amazing. It's one of the best things because, like, sometimes in practice, whenever we're in the same thing, we just like out of the play, like, and we can read stuff and like we can talk in Spanish, like we can do this, and like everybody's confused, so like it works out. It's just amazing how we can connect every time and just support each other like in our own way.
Sometimes we don't understand in English, so we just talking in Spanish to.
Yeah, when they get rattled, you can't hear what they're saying. You can't understand what they're
So
saying.
like, hey,
Especially
need that.
Especially me.
You'll be like, what he said? I don't know.
All right, thank you, man.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate it,
I'll get rattled. I'm trying to help you. Oh. Who was that? Who'd you say? Who'd you say that? Oh. You need water? Here you go. This one's not been open.
My 42nd one. That was a good Super Bowl Sunday. Good start to it anyway. Loved the first half of that game. I thought we were trying to get back and establish some of the pace that we want to play with, which I thought was important. And it opened things up. Our ball movement was great. I think we had 10 assists at half, 9 threes. It, frees Plummer up, creates great space. I thought it was really important to move their tags
And we knew that they would come after Kofi. They did a great job on that. And then, second half, it was, we didn't run. And, we opened the half, and I think DeMonte had 3 kind of horse shots from 3 that didn't go in. And all of a sudden they make get a couple in transition, and then we turn the ball over at an uncanny rate. We haven't had 20 turnovers probably since Cincinnati. I don't know that. Don't quote me on that, but it's been a long time. And, we hold Bowie and Chase to 7 of 28, 0 for 10 from 3. We knew those were the 2 guys. They're 1 in 14, I think, when Pete Nance makes more than 1 3. So we weren't overly worried about that. Everybody gets worried about his pick and pop. We were worried about those 2 guys, and I thought we did a nice job there. Love the rebound total, and then RJ was terrific tonight. And I think we're starting to see depth and growth. And I thought Coleman was really good as well. So Plummer was elite in the first half, and then our tempo slowed, and we didn't get him as many looks in the second half. But good start to the week, and glad we got found a way when things weren't great.
Go ahead, Doug.
Coach, what would you see with the execution in the second half? Was there something different that Northwestern was doing, or just your team not executing the way they did in the first half?
Well, the pace and tempo was completely different, and we got we got the ball to Kofi. He just had an uncanny 6 turnovers. He's handled doubles and triples all year, really. But along the way, we only made 1 3 the second half, and we got good looks. And when the ball doesn't go in, it's amazing how things change. And it led to some fast break points for them, and that was allowed them to get back in the game.
Brad.
Obviously, big game from RJ Melendez. There was one play in the second half when he gets beat back door and you're ready to yell at him, and then he blocks the shot. Does that kind of showcase maybe where he is, and also shows what he has?
Absolutely. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I hope somebody got a picture of that last rebound. Wow. He's gained 20 pounds since he's been here. And he's a great competitor. He's just had to learn how to play at this level and understand the physicality. I mean, he gets beat on a simple flex cut, which we covered in scouting report mistake, but he doesn't quit on it and just goes and blocks his shot. And it's nice to have guys who have that ability to go do that. And a lot of guys can get beat, but they can't recover. And RJ's got those gifts.
Jeremy.
Brett, as you say, Kofi never has a bad day, but it was rare to see him flustered at a time tonight, and then he bounces back. How do you guys prepare him, or how does he handle the physicality he gets, the attention he gets every night? Tonight was as bad as I've seen Kofi, and as flustered. Kofi was showing us his arms at halftime, and instead of getting his jersey tugged, and Kofi never shows emotion, and we all know he's the most fouled player in America. If they truly wanted to call a foul every trip, they probably could. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. He can't get flustered like that. But then they're late in the game, last 8 minutes, he just was no eyeball and carried us home down the stretch. But they sent the farm to him, and he just had some uncanny turnovers that he usually doesn't have, no matter if there's 2 or 3 guys. But he was flustered tonight.
Yeah, Brad, to kind of follow up on that, I know you can't comment specifically on the officiating tonight, but in general, in your discussions with the officiating and on how difficult, because you've said so that he's one of the most difficult players to officiate in this game right now. What their challenges have been in officiating him? Yeah, one of the officials told me tonight they could call a foul every trip. How do you respond to that? I mean, so you're going to pick and choose? There's one play. There's 2 hands straight in his back.
and I'm not trying to nitpick on this crew. This is a really good crew. I take these guys every night, but I get it. He is hard to officiate, but at the expense of, breaking his arms and cracking his wrist and bleeding. I mean, so I better be quiet.
Alec?
Brad, a couple of the players, and RJ included, said that his athleticism is something that others on the team don't have. How special is his athleticism and important to you guys as a team?
Yeah, and it's only going to get better as he gets stronger. That's why when we recruit him, he's different than Pods. He's different than Luke. His athleticism. The move he made in the Purdue game, we just drove it baseline and hit a pull-up jump shot, and the block. Those things are really important. And when I tell you he's going to be a star in this league, he's going to be a star in this league. And he's playing himself into a pretty good opportunity right now. Joey.
Did you think, it seems like these last two games, it's been a pretty fast upward trajectory for him on the court. Did you think once he gets out there and once that light turns on, it was going to happen? And it's about maybe a time you thought that could be happening?
No, I never know when the switch is. He'd been practicing really good. He'd been giving our guys problems in practice. And, most of the time he runs on the scout team and he's the other guys, best wing player or whatever. And he just giving us problems. And I'm like, he might be ready. And he's so instinctive and everything's natural and easy for him. His IQ is really high. And then what's matched that now, which wasn't early, is now he's putting in the time. Now the work ethic is creeping into that. And we're seeing a really confident young guy.
In the way back to the left.
Coach, you're atop the Big Ten standings. You have 6 more games left in the regular season. Do you feel like you're going to have some extra pressure to maybe finish out the season strong?
One game at a time. I think I've been here before. I don't think it's Purdue 1-1. Every game in this league is so hard. It's what Chris and I talked about before the game. This league is just this was one of the hottest teams in the league. This team, Northwestern's going to beat some people down the stretch. That team's playing really, really hard. And, I don't ever look at it like that. We're just literally taking it one game at a time. We got 3 weeks left and the next one's at Rutgers. And, it's to look forward to anything. We'll tally him up at the end and see where we're at.
Doug.
Coach, do you think this could be a turning point for Coleman Hawkins? He didn't score, but he was a plus 17 in the plus minus. Seems like he had more confidence today.
He was great yesterday. We made him be Nance. Sometimes when you take guys and put them in a different role, and we said, you're Pete Nance. And the dude made every 3 yesterday and was driving the ball, and his drive today, the big difference with Coleman, that drive he made, and he made a kick to RJ in the corner. That was a 2-foot jump stop. Early in the year when he was starting and playing, that would have been a 1-foot, probably charge or throw it out of bounds play because he would have been out of control. And that's where he's matured and he's grown. And, defensively, he can give us so much. And I'm really happy for him. He was fabulous today.
Scott.
I guess, I don't know, from June to February, how does the trust develop with the freshmen where you feel comfortable with them in crunch time of a close game in the Big Ten?
Yeah, it's not rocket science, but it's guys have to show you that they can deal with adversity. I don't know how many guys are in the country that, I think at one point somebody told me there were 24 freshmen playing over 20 minutes a game in Power 5 schools. That was a while back. So, but you can put that piano on their back because it's called adversity. They've never dealt with it. And how they handle that, not playing. New system, all the adjustments that freshmen go through. And how you handle that is interesting. Everybody does it differently. And they all come in here and think they're going to be great and they're going to rock the world. They've been told since they were 14 that they're pros. and they have no idea what that means. But how you handle that adversity and then you get back to work, because what happens in practice, more often than not in practice, we're working on team stuff. That's not individual stuff. You may get 3 shots in a practice, so now you got to go put in the time. And when they start putting in that time, that means they care. They're about us. They're about what we're doing. All 3 of those guys have done that and shown that. And, everybody rides with veterans early, and, we've done that. And, but boy, it is nice to see. And I got a lot of confidence I didn't play RJ and Luke today, and for no particular reason. But I got a lot of confidence in those guys as well.
Seems like every game there's that one stretch. Today was a 7-minute stretch. They make a run. You just struggle on offense. What happens? What do you need to do to make the adjustment there?
Open to suggestions. I mean, we've fought movement. We've fought post ups. We've today it was just, you make miss shots, you miss a couple free throws, you've got to stem those tides with that. And an offensive rebound here or there, and some of those things, but help stem the tide in that. And not every game is going to be a beauty when it comes to execution, but we're trying to get going again. We're trying to play with a little more, and that will help RJ. It will help Luke. It will help, and everybody looks at Jake's number, and Jake missed some open shots tonight. Jake's one of the reasons we're playing so well offensively, because he's a great connector. He spaces the floor. Nobody's leaving him. Everybody's pressuring him. And it's great. And because he's a really good passer. And I trust Jacob Grandison a lot. And so it's, I wish I had the answer. I wish I'd sure as the hell get it solved, but it's making a play, making a shot sometimes can flip all of that.
Rob? Violating your 1 day at a time rule, but RJ and Fonz were talking about speaking in Spanish and how that helps them on the court. The Caribbean has been so good to you. Long term, do you hope to recruit that still?
Yes. And yes. They have tremendous pride, spirit, passion. Yes.
Well, Brad, you talk about culture a lot. How long does it take a guy like Trent to realize, well, I only had 7 points tonight, but Bowie went 3 of 13, so I did well. Like I contributed, and Coleman Hawkins doesn't score, but he contributed. And how long does that take for them to kind of get it?
I hope pretty quickly, because that's what we talk about. And I don't want, it's one of the, be honest, it's one of the big challenges with Fonz. Everything he's attributed his all of his success to how many baskets he makes. And we're fighting that. That's winning basketball when you hold 2 guys that are really good to 7 of 28. That's winning. And it's not, because we can't control offense. We can't control when that ball goes in every single night. And so we're trying, and that's helped RJ, to be very honest, get on the court, because he's got length and he can guard. And he's bought into that. He's not worried about how many points he scores. Doug.
Coach, seems like there's times when Andre Curbelo is a little bit outside of this structure, a little bit kind of freelance. And are there times where you need to dial him back a little bit?
It's a hard one to answer, because we've all seen him. The beauty with Dre is he can break plays off like no other. No, there's not one team in America that can keep Andre Curbelo out of the paint. Not one. He did it against Baylor last year. And he's trying so hard to find a little rhythm and to find his pace. And yesterday, he playing his butt off in practice, literally having his best practice of the year, and he rolls his ankle. And so he doesn't practice the rest of practice. And he's, Yes, to answer your question, there's a fine line, and yet you've got to understand he's going to make one or two turnovers because of what he's going to try and what he's capable of doing. But we need him to be really good and really dialed in.
Joey.
Is there a moment in the recruiting process, or maybe even early, when RJ got to campus, that his athleticism, like, was there a play that you were like, we haven't had that come through here in some time?
Yeah, the first day of layup lines, when he's leaving just inside the free throw line, dunking a ball. No, we saw it in the recruiting process, and we knew we needed that type of athlete on the wing, and we haven't had that 6'6", 6'7" size and that athleticism. And he's a really good shooter, but yet that's a different type of athlete than most guys we've had.
Kevin.
Brad, this time of year, you guys obviously are leading the Big Ten. Do you sleep better at night because of that, or worse at night because of that?
I don't sleep, period. I didn't sleep the first 2 years when we were getting our ass kicked, and I don't sleep now. And my wife was mad at me this morning because I woke up at 4:45 to see who won the late games last night. And I pick and choose. Tonight will be Super Bowl commercials and Rutgers. And if I don't get, yeah. So I don't. To me, it's not any of that. I can't control what happens with 13 other teams, and so it's literally the game, the next game, and we know we're in first. You guys, it's all you guys talk about. It's all everybody talks about, and I can't keep our guys from hearing that. So we address it, but we're not talking about it. That'd be a death sentence to do that. So. How can we try to play the best game we can against Rutgers?
You said you identified in the recruiting process that you needed more athleticism on the wing. Was there a reason or a game that made you feel like you needed someone with RJ's kind of athleticism on the wing?
Everybody's had it in the league. Everybody's got really good size. Has had really good size. I go back to my first year, and what was the kid from Bloomington with Ohio State? Thank you. 6'9" on the wing. And we're out there with 6'2" guys trying to guard him. And you go through, and we've been really blessed because DeMonte's got unbelievable length and unbelievable strength, and he's been able to guard some of those guys. But it's just an area we needed to get an emphasis and continue to grow and change and try to find 6'6", 6'7" guys.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Enjoy the Super Bowl, or at least the commercials.
Thanks, Coach.
I think you're just upset Brad. I think you're just really upset Brad.
Did Derek tell him to not comment on it? No, I just think he told him.